In today's show, everything you need to know about the 2023 NBA Draft Lottery, plus the stone cold lock that Wemby is coming to Portland. That's right, the Blazers are going to win this thing. Victor Wembanyama going number 1 overall to your Portland Trail Blazers. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter, Mike Richmond. You are listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making the show your first listen, coming at you every single weekday, Monday through Friday. So why not start your days with it and make it your first listen. Tell your friends to do the same. It's Locked On Blazers, your team every day. Here at Locked On Blazers, we don't believe in jinxes. We believe in manifestations. So before we get into it in today's episode, let's just manifest it. With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Victor Wembanyama. You're going to hear Adam Silver say it because you're going to manifest it. There's no such thing as a jinx. In today's show, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about the NBA Draft Lottery. What's at stake, what number 1 means, and in the off chance, the very unlikely chance that the Blazers do not get the number 1 overall pick and don't end up with Wemby tomorrow night, what it means for the franchise in the future. Then we'll close the show with a little bit of good luck, some positive juju to ride you into Tuesday's show. You are listening to Tuesday, May 16th show. I appreciate it. The draft lottery is this evening, 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you live somewhere else, do the math. 8 Eastern for those of you at home, 7 Central. I'm not giving you mountain time, though. You're going to have to figure that one out on your own. And if you live outside the continental United States, you're really on your own because I never know what time it is anywhere, or in Arizona for that matter. But I want to talk about what's at stake here because when it happens at 5:30 or whatever and the Blazers do get Victor Wembanyama, it's going to set this sort of direction, set the train in motion. And again, in the off chance that they don't, it sets the other train in motion. So let's talk about how this works, first of all. The Blazers have themselves a 42% chance of getting a top 4 overall pick. But top 4 is not the goal. The goal is number 1. And the Blazers, by virtue of finishing with the 5th worst record in the NBA and claiming the 5th best lottery odds, have a 10.5% chance of getting number 1 overall. In fact, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to pull up the odds here to make it easier as we roll through them. If you're an audio person, I'm just going to tell you them as well. Blazers, like I said, 42% chance of getting that number 2 overall pick. Or 42% chance of getting a top 4 pick, so that's 10.5 at 1, 10.54 at 2, 10.55 at 3, 10.52 at 4. With the 5th best odds, just the way it works, the least likely pick other than 9 that they can get is 5th, just a 2.2% chance. But they're more likely to fall back. 6th pick, 19.6% chance. 7th pick, the overwhelmingly most likely spot they end up. Unfortunately, what a bummer. 26.75%, an 8.7% chance at 8, and a 0.62% chance at 9. That's a lot of numbers. You don't need to know them. Here's what you need to know. 10.5%. That's the number you need to focus on. That's the chance to get the number 1 overall pick. 10.5% chance to end up with the number 1 overall pick. They can end up no worse than 9. The Blazers have been to the lottery 8 times. The NBA lottery came into existence in 1985 with the frozen envelope that sent Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. I actually don't really believe in the frozen envelope, but it's a fun thing to say. The frozen envelope that guaranteed Patrick Ewing would go to the Knicks. They rigged it. Blazers didn't even appear in the lottery for the first 19 seasons of its existence. They didn't get into the lottery until 2004. They spent 20 years just making the playoffs. They've been a consistently good team. It's one of the frustrating things about them is they've been good often. They've often been good. They keep being okay. Take the lottery odds down for you now. They've been good for a long time. But in 2004, they made it for the first time. They went to three straight lotteries, 3 straight trips. Not exactly ideal. Shout out to Sebastian Telfair and Martell Webster. But just twice in those 8 trips, 2006 and in 2022, have they fallen backwards. Typically they've stayed the same or moved up. I do not think past events have any impact on the future events when it's odds and ping pong balls and frozen envelopes and what happens behind closed doors with lottery odds. But just so you know, 8 times, 6 of them they've stayed pat or moved up. Last year they fell back from 6 to 7. They drafted Shaedon Sharpe. He looks like he's going to be a very, very good basketball player. But when you're watching tomorrow night, what you want to root for is chalk. You want to root for things to just stay the way you've seen them. So you want to see when the first name's up, you want to see New Orleans, and then Toronto, and then OKC, and then Chicago. That pick's going to Orlando, but Chicago, and then Dallas, and then Utah, and then the Wizards, and then Indiana, and then Orlando. And then you want it to get funky when you get to 5. Because as you're rooting for it, teams are only jumping up into the top 4 spots. Like they don't move around the map. You only jump up. The lottery is for the top 4 spots, and then you kind of it falls in line after that. So when we're watching collectively, I think that's actually a good time to use a collective pronoun. When we are collectively watching, you're rooting for chalk. You're rooting to see the names come up just in order that they do. New Orleans, Toronto, OKC, Chicago, Dallas, Utah, Washington, Indiana, Orlando. Then when you get to the 5th pick, you do not want to see the Portland Trailblazers because you're going to want to see them jump up. They usually take a commercial break before the top 3 are decided. We'll know who's in the top 3. Brandon Roy will be sitting there. He'll bring in his good luck vibes when the Blazers won the lottery in 2007, which is a 5.3% chance of winning the lottery. And Brandon Roy was there to give them that luck. 95% chance it went the other way. B-Roy delivers. He's going to deliver again. They're going to go to a commercial break. There's going to be 3 teams left. Their logo's up there. But what order will they appear? Not 3. Not 2. But 1. And the Blazers will have a chance to draft a generational talent. That's how it works. I want to talk about in the second segment what's at stake. That's how it's going to work. I'm calling my shot. I don't believe in jinxes. I believe in manifestation. I'm calling my shot. That's how it's going to work. On the off chance it doesn't work that way, let's talk about the 2 directions that the Blazers are going to have to face, the decisions they're going to have to make, because it's going to set things in motion. It's going to push them in a direction depending on what happens. And in the very unlikely chance that they do not get Victor Wembanyama, I know I keep saying 10.5, more like 100.5, baby. It's happening. But in the outside chance that they don't end up winning the lottery, it does set off a chain. It does set off sort of the other side of this coin. Let's talk about the 2 roads that tomorrow's lottery will decide for the Blazers. But first, let me tell you about Gametime. Look, buying tickets to your favorite sporting events, to your favorite comedy shows, to the live theater you want to see, it shouldn't be stressful. And with Gametime, you can get killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, so you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun. No planning months in advance because Gametime has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Plus, get exclusive flash deals on tickets for all your favorite sports, for live music, for comedy shows, like I said, for live theater, and more. Plus, with the Gametime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and the same row for less money, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Go shop and try to find a better deal, and if you do, they'll pay you for finding one. Listen, snag the tickets without the stress. Download the Gametime app. Create an account. Use the promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, one more time for you. Create an account. Use the redemption code LOCKEDONNBA. I didn't even get it right the first time. LOCKEDONNBA. One more time for you. LOCKEDONNBA is your promo code. You'll get $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Look. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. No jinxes, only manifestations. I believe. I truly believe. But if it doesn't, let's talk about what the 2 scenarios are. Number one's easy. You draft Victor Wembanyama. You have a generational talent. I am not a big draft person. I have watched a bunch of Wemby games because they've been on the app. And my man Kevin Dana, former guest on this podcast last week, calls the games. They're easy to watch. I've probably watched 4 or 5 of them. in that range. Now, it's not like I watch every single minute and don't claim to, but I've watched full games of him, and I certainly haven't watched that much college basketball. So he's definitely my most scouted prospect. And the smart people that cover the draft say that Victor Wembanyama is the best draft prospect since LeBron James. He's 7'4" with a smooth handle, range out to the 3-point line. He can shoot off the dribble. He can create for himself off the bounce at 7'4", and he's an elite rim protector. Elite rim protector. He's a little skinny, but all he does is go places and make teams win. He's been dominant statistically in the French league. He's just really stinking good. And the people who do this for a living say that this is the best draft prospect in the last 20 years. Sorry to Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson and the other sort of can't miss dudes coming out of college in that same ilk. Even Luka Doncic to some respect, who was like clearly can't miss, but was like a not super bouncy, pudgy Slovenian. So people didn't buy the hype. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton. Shout out to Marvin Bagley. Believe the hype. Wemby, there's no debate. He's going to be the number one pick. And if the Blazers get the number one pick, the solution is simple. You draft him, you put him on your team, and you create this window with Damian Lillard on the roster to be good in the near term. I think, I've been maybe skeptical of Wemby's immediate impact, but listening to more draft podcasts and talking to a friend of the program, Rafael Barlow, who hosts Locked on NBA Big Board and writes the NBA Big Board newsletter, like Wemby, he's convinced me that Wemby could be a positively impactful player like day one and maybe a very good player in the league by the end of his first season. And if he's not, he's still going to be like an above average basketball player. Like he's going to be a positively impactful player from day one. I've softened my stance. Before I was like, it could take him a little while to hit the ground running. Now I believe he's going to hit the ground running. I don't know if he's going to be like Tim Duncan All-Star as a rookie type of thing, but he's going to be positively impactful right away. And he has a chance to be, once his frame fills out, once he kind of figures out what it's like to play an 82-game NBA season, the physicality, all of those things, a chance to be a legendary player, right? Like this is like a generational talent. So you don't get cute. Like you don't get cute. You just draft him and you move forward with it. Like I think there's people there's like fan speculation. It's like, would you trade him for Giannis? Like maybe straight up if they call, but you don't. Certainly the Blazers aren't going to pitch that. Would you trade him straight up for Joel Embiid to make and whatever it takes to make the money work? Probably not. But like maybe you feel the call. But I don't think the Blazers don't make those calls, right? The Blazers don't make those calls. They take the pick, they keep it going. I don't think it jeopardizes Damian Lillard's future. I think you just say like, hey man, this dude's going to be super, super, super special, and you're going to be the best guard he's ever played with by a mile. You two are going to go take over. He might not be ready in December, but we think he'll be ready by April, and next season he's going to rock. So, and he can help you get to what's next and where you want to go because this is a generational talent. And Wemby and Sharp and Dame is a heck of a group moving forward in the near and then in the long term beyond the sort of Dame era. Special. Easy. Don't get cute. Just make the draft pick and keep it happen. In the off chance, the very, 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 very unlikely chance that the Blazers do not end up with the number one overall pick, the solution is simple. This is the next steps are simple. I think as opposed to like debating what they should do here, I'm trying to lay out what I believe and to some extent know that they will do. They're going to shop the pick. If it isn't one, they're going to try to trade whatever it is. And obviously like 2, 3, 4, 5 better than 6, 7, 8, 9. Like the higher picks have more value. You don't need to be super, super smart, but like obviously having the rights to Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller, who are the presumptive second and third picks would be in whatever order, would be super valuable, right? Like Scoot is supposedly supposed to be really special. Listening to some draft experts that I have this week, I think the draft is supposed to have a lot of depth. So, while 9 is significantly worse than 2, there's still going to be a lot of value for a top 10 pick. The Blazers are going to package that pick. Let's call it 4. They're going to package 4 and Anthony Simons and try to see what they can get with that. The Simons thing, it's like, it just it has to be him. It has to be Ant. Like, that's how the math works. He is 23 years old. He is a 20 point per game scorer. The age and the talent help. And his salary, he's owed, average annual value right in the $25 million a year range. The money, the talent, the age, that's what makes him appealing. You have to trade big money to get big money back. It's not like he has giant contract money. He has like solid above average starter money in the league, and soon to be less than that because the cap's going to jump up. But like Ant plus 4 is the start of your package to bid for a star. Damian Lillard has been very, very clear, and the Blazers have been very clear in supporting. Dame has been clear in what he wants. He wants them to make a big trade to get veteran talent to help them win now. That's the package that they have to trade. And the Blazers, while they can't be specific about what they're going to do, have been very specific about supporting Dame, chasing down what he wants, building with him, and all of those things. That's the move. If it's 1, it's Wemby. If it's 2, it's a trade, right? Like if it's 2 and beyond, it's a trade. Every other pick that I would be, okay, let me lay this. Let me keep it. Let me be as clear as possible. The only way the Blazers make a draft pick that isn't 1 is if it goes wrong. They got to make those picks around draft night because not there's like this is like 95% chance, the most likely scenario. There's whatever, a 5% chance you could trade it later. But like as soon as you make a pick, it becomes less valuable, right? Like as soon as you make the pick, it becomes less valuable. You got to find a suitor on draft night, on or around draft, heading into the draft, whatever it might be, that wants what you have. And as soon as the draft lottery is decided, you can work the phones and figure out what you have. If the Blazers make a pick, if they get Amen Thompson at 5 or whatever, it is a sign that they are going young and a rebuild. If they make the pick, if they do not trade the pick, the lottery pick specifically, the pick that they're going to be decided tomorrow night, it's not a good sign for the future of Damian Lillard with the franchise. They're going to try to trade it. That's their ammo to trade. Anthony Simons is the ammo to trade. They're picking Vic at 1, or they're launching forward with here's our ammunition to trade and upgrade the roster around Damian Lillard. Listener Jared sent me a note today that suggested something, or it mentioned something I really like, was that there has been sort of this anxiousness about what to root for with the team. What's going on, and that there is going to be some sort of exhale and some catharsis in knowing what happens in the lottery will determine the direction. It will send the Blazers on the course, and I think that's really insightful from listener Jared. Shout out to you, Jared. An important note. This gives them some direction. The direction is incredibly clear. It's Wemby or it's a trade. And then if they fail to find the right suitor, it's the other direction with the rebuild. But most likely they'll find something, or they'll keep hunting until they do. But they'll have, roughly a month from the lottery determination until the draft night to find what it looks like if they don't end up with Wemby. But here's the thing, they're going to end up with Wemby. That's the thing. They're going to end up with Wemby. I got more guarantees and a plan for you to manifest exactly what you want to close the show. Join me in that third segment. But before we get there, I want to tell you about PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy made easy. And right now, during the NBA playoffs, it's time to get involved in PrizePicks. You can win up to $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. Every day of the NBA playoffs, one PrizePicks user will win a chance at becoming a millionaire. One entry placed after 8 a.m. Eastern Time will be randomly selected each day. Whoever placed that entry will be given a 6-pick flex with the following payouts. 6 correct picks, $1 million. 5 correct picks, $80,000. 4 out of 6, you get $16,000. You can get full details how to win your $1 million at prizepicks.com/million. You must opt in at that link. That's prizepicks.com/million to be eligible for the $1 million entry. Once you opt in, all you have to do is play the game like normal, and you could be that lucky winner. So download the PrizePicks app at prizepicks.com. Go to prizepicks.com/million. Play every day and get a chance through the NBA Finals. From the moment you hear my voice through the NBA Finals, and you could be selected to win $1 million. Download the PrizePicks app. Go to PrizePicks, like I said. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON when you're signing up. So if you deposit $100, they're going to give you $100. You deposit $50, they'll give you $50. Don't forget, enter the promo code LOCKEDON for an instant deposit match up to $100. Still a pass first point guard. I'm still Mike Richmond. You're still listening to Locked On Blazers. We don't believe in jinxes. How I started the show, it's how I'm going to end it too. We don't believe in jinxes here. We believe in manifestations. Last year, I did this podcast, Blazers Win the Lottery again, and I gave examples of things that were more likely, less likely to happen than the Blazers getting the number 1 overall pick. Things like getting on the showcase, getting on the panel at Price is Right, getting into Harvard, having the same name as me if you were born the same year. And I was going to do that shtick again because it's fun. It's fun. It's fun little joke. So I'll give you some free ones. If you're born in 2021, there is a 9.083% chance you will have a class, and your name is Jeff. You'll have a 9.83% chance your name is Jeff. That's important because this show is very popular with Jeffs. If there's a Jeff in your life, share Locked On Blazers with them. They traditionally love the show. They love the show. They're always emailing me, various Jeffs. I think I have 4 relatively regular emailers named Jeff, plus probably many other silent Jeffs out there listening. So if you are a Jeff born in 2021, a young Jeff, 9.083% chance that you will have a classmate named Jeff. And that's less likely than the Blazers getting the number 1 overall pick and drafting Victor Wembanyama. My dad went to the University of Pennsylvania. He went to Penn. Yeah, I'm bragging. My father lived in 2 separate cities in Pennsylvania, both Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. How about that? How about that for a brag? In 2023, the acceptance rate at Penn was 9.4%. It's hard to get in. It's a good school. It was easier to get in back when he went there in the past. It's just sometime in the past. It happened in the past. 9.4% chance of getting into Penn 2023. It's a good school. Go Quakers. It's way more likely the Blazers get Victor Wembanyama than you get into Penn. We could do a whole shtick more than that. I could do 1 million of those. I'm good at the percentage jokes. But I want to tell you about a time I got lucky when I was in where I had some good luck. Let's some phrasing. Where I had some good luck when I was in the 4th grade. We used to have this thing. Shout out to Glenwood Elementary, beautiful Western Chapel Hill. Go Gators. Glenwood Elementary. We had this thing where, like the school guidance counselor or something. I don't know exactly what her role was, but she would come around. She'd talk to us about whatever, like putting deodorant on because we were stinky little 10-year-olds or something. And she would do this thing when she left. She would have a book of candy bars. And she would open up the book and she'd flip through it. And she'd say, my candy bar that I have today, the special candy bar I have today could be Milky Way, could be Kit Kat, could be Butterfinger, could be Snickers, could be Payday, could be Baby Ruth, and she would run through 40 of them. And she had all the wrappers in this little binder with like laminated binder, and she'd flip through and show you all the wrappers. And then you'd go around the room to the students in the class, and you'd say you'd make your official guess based on what she just did. I'm in the 4th grade, and I'm staring down this binder. And I know in my heart that it's Snickers. I know. From the moment she starts going through it, whatever. Baby Ruth, Payday, 100 Grand, Almond Joy, whatever. Keep listing them off. I know that it's a Snickers bar in there. Comes in my turn. She said, Michael, what do you want? And I said, Snickers. And I knew it. And I got it. And they gave a full-size candy bar to my teacher, Miss Lambert. And after school, I went to her desk and she gave me a full-size candy bar to take home on the bus. I was a king of whatever my bus number was in the ride home. I live very close to schools, not a long bus ride. Pack of Magic cards, full-size Snickers bar. That's royalty. Shaden Sharp, Victor Wembanyama, that's royalty. Here's why I don't believe in jinxes. Because when you know, just stare that dang binder down and tell them it's going to be Victor Wembanyama. When they're reading off the names, you don't need to light a candle. You don't need to pray. You don't need to eat crepes in the morning. You don't need to wear a beret or eat a sandwich on a baguette. You don't need to do any stereotypical French stuff. Just stare down that TV or however you're viewing it, computer screen, phone, listening on the radio, simulcast. Stare it down, stare that binder down with all of the confidence of a fourth grade podcaster. If you think I host a podcast by myself, you think I wasn't a little chatterbox when I was 9 years old? I was going in. Young soliloquy out there. Stare down that binder. Tell them. Just wait your turn. You can hear what all your little 9-year-old friends got to say. Doesn't matter. You know it's going to be Victor Wembanyama. You know it's going to be it. You're not jinxing it. You're not hoping someone else gets in your way. You are certain of action from the moment it starts. You know you're winning that dang candy bar. You're about to be the king of the bus ride home. And the Blazers are about to be the kings of the NBA. I guess there's already a kings. They're about to be the royalty of the NBA for the next decade after they get Victor Wembanyama. No lucky rabbit's foot, no horseshoes, no four-leaf clover. Yesterday, I couldn't think of 3 lucky things. I thought of 3 lucky things between yesterday's show. You don't need any good luck. Stare it down. Know it's true. The Blazers are getting Victor Wembanyama. You can make this. You can cut this out. Clip this out and share it on social media. The Blazers are getting Victor Wembanyama. Congrats. I'm happy for them. They did it. They did it. All the losing was worth it. They did it. Joe Cronin's a genius. Keep on losing. It works. And remember, don't let anyone bully you and tell you tanking isn't worth it. The Spurs launched a 20-year dynasty by tanking. It's a great idea. It's a great idea, and the Blazers are about to show you it again tomorrow, or as you're listening to this today, tonight, this evening, this afternoon. The Blazers are getting Victor Wembanyama. Congratulations. We will talk about Victor tomorrow's show. We're going to talk about Victor Wembanyama because the Blazers are going to win the draft lottery, and they're going to have a new shiny toy, and we will celebrate. So come back, Wednesday's show. We will celebrate. Tell your friends. The Blazers are getting Victor Wembanyama. Wemby to Portland. It's a lock. I appreciate you listening. I'll talk to you soon.